Hey, bro, what's that?
What's what?
That you just threw in here.
What word?
I got you on camera, bro.
I got you on camera. We're all good.
Hey, bro, you just threw that in here.
Yeah.
Extreme Foolishness TV here. This is where I talk about extreme foolishness that goes on around you. I really miss you guys. I haven't dropped a video in 2 weeks because I traveled. I had to travel for my grandmother's funeral, but everything went well. So I'm back now giving you guys some extreme foolishness stuff. This video I'm about to talk about is a disturbing video that was sent to me by somebody that watches this channel regularly. It's a video about police officer with the village of Caledonia Police Department. I'll give you guys my legal analysis and my extreme foolishness analysis at the end of the video. But before I go into that, let me just give you guys a quick synopsis of what happened. Apparently, 3 guys were going in an area and they were going to, I think, about 63 miles per hour in a 45 miles per hour zone. They were pulled over. They had a driver, a front passenger, and a rear passenger. After they were pulled over for speeding, the police officer asked the driver to step outside and the rear passenger to step outside. The front passenger did not identify himself, which he didn't have to. So one of the passengers was searched, and the officer found what appeared to be a corner baggie, gave the corner baggie to another officer. The officer now drops the baggie in the rear seat. As he dropped it in the rear seat, the front passenger had his video camera and he recorded the entire encounter. And you guys saw the video. He said, "Officer, I got you on tape. You dropping a baggie on the seat." The officer was like, "Oh, I'm on camera too." So it appears the video has been viewed so many times on social media. Now the village of Caledonia Police Department wants to do damage control. So on their Facebook page, they released snippets of the body camera of the other officers. It appears there were 6 officers there. They try to do damage control. They said that the driver and rear passengers were removed from the vehicle after the vehicle was pulled over. And a subsequent search of one of the rear passengers produced an empty corner tier, a corner plastic baggie, from the passenger's pocket. The police officer said, the police department said, the empty corner tier did not contain any illegal substances. However, this type of packaging is a common method for holding illegal drugs. They now further said the empty corner tier was turned over by the searching officer to another officer who was on the scene. The officer turned it over to the officer who is seen it on the video. Since there were no drugs on the corner tier, the officers discarded the empty packaging material in the vehicle. This is what was observed in the video. Now to my analysis. First of all, this is an extreme foolish reason by the village of Caledonian Police Department. As you can see from the video, when that officer dropped that baggie, he was putting on his gloves. This is boilerplate technique for they are getting ready to search your car. Had the front passenger not recorded that officer as he dropped that baggie, there's no telling what that officer could have done. First of all, the officer may have just said they found drugs in the car. Let me even play the devil's advocate here. If what the officer probably did was, he probably tried to find probable cause to search the entire car. Because first of all, they were pulled over for speeding. Based on the law, a police officer can only detain a suspect after a suspect is stopped over. The detention has to be limited in scope and in time, which means that here, all they had to do was give them a citation for speeding, the driver a citation for speeding, and they should have been gone. There was no reason to even tell them to get out of their car. Before the officer can tell an occupant of a vehicle to get out of his car, the officer has to have probable cause that something was wrong to prolong the stop. So this is illegal. This is a violation of their Fourth Amendment rights. He now told them to get out of the car. search them without no probable cause because they haven't stated in there. They had a long time to make up the story. They haven't stated what was the reason, the probable cause for even telling them to get out of their car. Now, the officer who threw the baggie in the car said, well, it didn't contain any drugs and he was just putting it there because it was trash. Give me a freaking break, people. Give me a break. There was no reason. If it was trash, the officer should have left it in the pocket of where it was found. Because if you see from the video, the body cam, the officer who found it on the person of the passenger who was searched said, this is a corner bag here. So the officer who got it threw it in the car, most likely to plant it as evidence. And they are now saying that the bag did not contain any drugs. It doesn't have to contain any drugs to be used as evidence. What they try to do was most likely, like I said, use it as probable cause to search the entire vehicle. All the officer had to say was, I saw a bag in the backseat of the car. Now I want to search the entire vehicle. Because he was putting his gloves on, ready to search. And there's no telling. The only reason the whole plan was pretty much put in shambles was because the front passenger recorded it and let the officer know. So it's like, I'm about to search your car for some drugs, but I got busted. And I'm just going to play it off as if nothing happened. This is not how police work is done. If police finds an evidence, it should be immediately contained and sealed. You don't take a baggie from one person and dump it in a car because the officer was getting ready to search that car. So this story that they're putting out here does not make any sense. As a matter of fact, it's making it worse. It's making it worse. This officer should not be in the force. This officer should be fired. And any other officer or law enforcement person should be outraged that this conduct was done by the village of Caledonia Police Department. It doesn't matter whether they contain any drugs. It doesn't matter whether they were not arrested, because obviously there's no telling what could have happened if he did not record it and let the officer know immediately. Can you imagine what would have happened if he did not let the officer know he recorded the officer and just kept the video? We see it time and time. Officers have been known to plant evidence on suspects, especially black men in America. And this is very, very sad. So I hope these officers get fired. Whatever reason they are given to explain themselves for dumping that baggie there is an extreme foolish reason. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't comport with police work. That's not how police work is supposed to be done. They try to plant drugs on those people. And at the very least, even if I were to give the officers the benefit of the doubt, they were trying to plant some kind of an evidence to have probable cause to search the entire vehicle and find something. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that the officer did everything right? Do you think the officers were wrong? Do you think that the officers tried to plant drugs in that car? Do you think the officer used that baggie as a pretext for probable cause to search the entire vehicle? Let me know. Because remember what the officer said. That was a baggie that was used for drug transactions. And if they find a corner baggie there, even without the presence of drugs, the officers could use it as probable cause to search the entire vehicle. And which again is a violation of the Fourth Amendment rights of the driver and the occupants of the vehicle. Thank you for watching, people. Stay away from the drama, drink your water. And most importantly, say no to extreme foolishness.